Hello and welcome to another week of Big Brother. We're going to just break it down for the week because it was a little bumpy as far as when is it going to be on? When is it not going to be on? But week 2, but only our very first eviction.
The show has been on forever, and they finally voted somebody
It's already
else.
September 15th. What is finally someone's going home?
These house guests are already like talking about like we got to get rid of this person before they go to jury, and we got to convince this person. Like y'all are down to two people evicted, and both of them did it themselves.
Yep.
Like you are not playing the game yet.
Literally asked for it, both of them.
Oh.
Whatever.
I always find it's like it doesn't matter what their interviews say, you know. A surefire way to find out if somebody is actually a fan of the show or not is if they volunteer to go on the block.
Well, that was a tell.
You haven't been watching.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
You're new. Oh, sad. Yeah, so we had Nicole all week as the HOH. I felt like really torn with Nicole. Well, I mean, not with Nicole.
With Jasmine.
Sorry, Jasmine. Jasmine. I feel really torn with Jasmine because I feel like she's got enough going on to understand what she needs to do. Like she's kind of strategizing a little bit, but yeah. I can't. Her accent sounds so fake, and it's not. I'm sure it's not. But why does it sound like someone trying to fake a bad accent? Southern accent.
I'm just like,
right?
Okay,
it's like too much or something. I don't know.
And if you watched her like talk on the live feeds and just kind of saw how she's been living her HOH life, I don't think it'd so much be torn. It'd be like a tear in your frontal lobe.
Do tell.
Well, I've decided that she is officially our Derek Frazier of this season because her ass did not move from that HOH bed.
Well, to be fair, she is injured. She's
super injured. And she was like having people bring her food. One of those people who did it a lot was, go figure, Taylor. And you would be amazed on how many complaints one would have for somebody who's making and bringing her food.
Oh, so she was like sending it back? Like you didn't do it right?
She's a little princessy up there.
Wow. Well, so what we're saying is Taylor, she's not going to be tipping Taylor. Taylor did not give good service.
Well, yeah. Apparently she's like the worst. So she's like, would you like me to make you some eggs? I can make you something. And she's like, oh yeah, I would really like you to do that. And then like she leaves the room and she's like, she's not going to get it right. Like,
that's so mean because Taylor really was doing all that to get in her good graces, right?
Also,
she wanted to stay.
Taylor, some of it is because Taylor is a wee bit more savvy about competition.
Yeah.
And she knows that like you have to put on a friendly face. If you don't, you're not going to win the pageant, right? There's got to be a little bit of a friendly face. It doesn't matter what's behind that, but up front, it's got to be a friendly face. But also, on top of all of that, Taylor is genuinely a really caring person who feels really bad that Jasmine's hurting and can't compete the same and is in pain and all by herself without her family and is trying to make her feel better. So,
and Jasmine knows that she can, and Jasmine knew she could ask her for anything. And what's she gonna do? Say no?
Right.
I feel like Jasmine's one of those people because she's, feels like she's in power and in a position that she gets real confident.
Mm-hmm.
And
she gets
nuts.
the HOH.
The minute she isn't, she's gonna go crazy.
Well, she's I mean, if you were going to stack her up against past players, I would say you have a pretty even keel mix between Derek Frazier and Christmas. Irony being the foot. The broken foot. That's probably, or the ankle, and it's like a level 4 or something. So she's probably not going to be able to compete in any of the physical comps for the rest of the show.
I didn't think Frazier was ever that sort of self-assured, almost cocky.
Nah, but he got to do a lot.
I thought he was.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a sassafras, but
I mean, maybe from a Mean Girls standpoint.
Yeah, and he didn't move around much, but seemed to think he was doing a lot in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, he got a lot of DR time. a lot of it, because he was willing to camp up to the camera and do the lines, which is exactly what she is doing. She is reciting the lines they're giving her, and in an accent, as you mentioned.
Right? It's exaggerated, right?
Exaggerated
right?
Than her actual accent.
Because I don't want to like say someone's like trying to pull a fast one, but it just seems a little too.
She's got a little bit of a drawl or a little southern like twang to her voice when she's just normally communicating, but like she's not cartoon centric.
It's like
southern stereotype.
Because where is she from?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, welcome to the show, guys.
I have it written down in my notes, and I find myself after like every episode or every like new like Taylor's the worst person in the world meeting that I just like have to scrub, like get an exfoliant and just scrub as hard as I can on my face until it seeps into my skin and like scrubs all of the bad.
Mississippi. Okay, I was thinking Alabama. Okay, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I'd have to ask Nick. What does Nick think?
I feel like, you know what it's like? It's like she's one of those like TikTok like people that have like embodied their grandma's accent for entertainment.
Yes. You know, it's a little, do you remember Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds made that Vessel Whorehouse in Texas? Yeah. She's a little bit, y'all come back there here. Like it's just a little too much.
Yeah. It's full of like, it's not so much grit, it's grits.
Anyway, but I will say for all of that, she does seem to be reading people fairly well.
And I do have to give her the credit in understanding that like she can read the cards that are placed in front of her, because this whole like switcheroo on Pooch, you know, this wasn't her design. This wasn't her idea, but she was willing to go, I could see how that would work and how I could put that in our advantage. So I will give her that.
And as the HOH, you're going to get blood on your hands because someone's going to go home. So you're trying to do it with the least amount of animosity, right? And you can always say like, well, he literally told me he wanted to be put up. So what was I supposed to do?
Yeah, as soon as he made that move, they were set.
Fault. I didn't vote. The House decided.
And it was a pretty quick decision, too. This isn't something that they hemmed and hawed on for days. It was a really quick decision, all the way up to like the final moment. So on Thursday, the viewers did not get to see the HOH as it happened because they had moved the schedule to Sunday.
Right.
But they still did the competition, the eviction, all of that happened on Thursday night. So everything we watched obviously was pre-recorded.
Yeah, they always stick to their schedule.
Right, which is why we got, you know, their little like thoughts about their HOH comps. But now, all the way up until the last minute, and I'm talking the last minute, I mean like all the way up until about 40 minutes before feeds were cut for the recording. Amira's like going back and forth thing. Like, did she slip when she was saying like, all girls, like when she was, you know, did she slip when she was talking to Monty, like about Taylor, or was it not quite a slip, but a little bit intentional? And then her DR said, whoops, because she was moving around a lot up until the last minute, trying to kind of change some minds. So I'm not really sure if she was trying to pull something or just being very messy and covering her tracks, but it got a little sketchy there for a while before feeds cut. They're like, oh my gosh, she might have accidentally made it so that Pooch stayed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was because then the guys were like, oh, the girls. You know how they're all just like
paranoid. They team up every year to pick up
against him or voted for him. I mean,
not even Joseph.
No.
Because Joseph at this point is probably like, dude, just give me a little space. Like
I'm gonna get beat up when I go home because I haven't had any conversations about this. Like, could you please just sit over a little further on the other side of the couch? Like, that's all I'm saying. Just you
are blowing up my life, bro. Come on.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, that was something. But okay. And then something else really fun happened this week that I'm hoping that we get a little, because, you know, Sundays are usually this is the things that we didn't show you, but we have to fill up this space. So we're going to just give you the things that happened out of order and try to make a story out of it. That's usually what we get on Sundays. But there's going to be a lot like this. I don't know what they're going to include. And I will just like to say that at the end of this podcast, I will issue a spoiler alert so you can turn off if you don't want to know anything that happened past Thursday. Because it's worth talking about, and I may or may not be able to tune in next week because I still might be coming home from Oklahoma during our recording time. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to miss out.
I think you said Oklahoma, so you should have to sing a bar or two of the song just because.
I can't because then doesn't it just seem like a proctology exam at that point? Like that song's forever changed. I'm just saying.
Well,
it's a fact. It's just a fact. Hashtag facts. Okay. So I don't even know where I was at. I threw my own self off of this train.
You had just issued a spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler. You have a spoiler for us later.
At the end, yes. At the end. I'll come back to you. You go.
So once those were the nominations, did either of you think that it was going to absolutely be one way or the other?
So the new nominations?
No. We're still talking last week.
For Taylor and Pooch.
For Taylor and Pooch.
I kind of thought, I didn't know because these people are, I don't understand these people.
I thought right away it was going to be Pooch, and I thought it was going to be Pooch the whole time. But again, I'm not watching the live feeds. Yeah. So for me, I was just like, they're going to send him home because they can.
It's just like not a thing
that somebody comes and says, put you up. You're going to say, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, because that's
maybe late in the game. If it's somebody you're aligned with, maybe you're going to say, dude, no.
Yeah, we can't risk it.
I think that if Pooch had nominated himself and it was any of the guys that was HOH, I think he probably would have been safe. Like, even though the HOH can't vote, I think that having one of the girls in the HOH when he nominated himself to do a favor or be in good
they were like, okay.
They were like, and devour.
Yeah. So this immediately, that's why I thought they'd stick with him.
Does anybody know what the gender split was after Paloma went home? Or did the guys have an advantage or not?
You know what? If I had the pictures out, I could sit and do a countdown, but I think they're really even Stevens. Like, they're real close to even Stevens. They may have a one-person advantage. Because who do we have for the guys? We have Terence, Turner, Monty, Joseph, Pooch, Kyle, Michael.
Well, there were 8 girls originally. That means there were 8 guys.
Yeah.
Right. So Paloma went
they
home.
Lost
so the guys
Paloma.
Actually had a numerical.
So they're still on an even.
So now it's gone back to even.
Right.
That's maybe that.
Not voting. The girls couldn't have put out their choice without the guys. Yep. At least one.
That's true. They needed one. And the same would be this week now, right? The guys have to have at least one girl go with them, right?
Michael said, you made a mistake not including me in your All Guys Alliance.
Yes. And how did they not realize that? And I liked that they played that in the message because I thought his goodbye message, Michael already is like doing gold. The guy's not even on the jury, but you're already saying exactly why. Yep. You'd be like, oh, man. Yeah. I thought it was good.
Yep, Michael did good by that message. He's been doing great in his veto comps.
He is a fan. He's seen the show before.
Exactly. He's like so much, like I said, he's so much of a fan. He was not going to be the first person that walked into the Big Brother doors. Like, he made all of the house guests go before him, and he held the door. So he knows. He's a fan. He knows what's going on. Brittany is a fan. Now, Miss Brittany, she is a fan. And I do really love her, but she would be a very frustrating person to work with because she just kind of accidentally bleh, all the time.
I'm sure. Because she's hypnotized herself. My husband came in the room and said, wait a minute. How do they know she hasn't hypnotized them all? Maybe they're all doing what she wants right now. It's Brittany's game.
It's all an illusion.
She hypnotized Pooch into putting himself on the block.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
she reminds me. She reminds me she would be she could play Alex Bernstein's little sister and something.
Ooh, yes, I could see that. Yeah. They're similar.
I just can't help but like her. I just feel like she's going to be tougher and edgier than she actually is because she's so similar looking.
Yeah, but no.
I forget. No.
She's
not very cutting edge.
No. No. So we had a pretty funny veto, I thought.
Oh my God.
Get your pearl in the hole.
I don't even know what they're thinking anymore. Like I thought
it was pretty fantastic. We decided, my daughter and I decided all those little water beads, that'd be kind of fun. It'd be squishy and you know.
Yeah, some Orbeez, just
Yeah. But for whatever reason, none of them were like trying to like smooth out the thing because they could touch the right. They weren't like moving any of the Orbeez before they tried to hit the ball or the pearl.
Really, well, Michael said something about was it Michael that was saying, oh, they're kind of like they're making them go in the ball going.
Yeah, but like no one else was figuring it out, and freaking Poochie had done like 10 pearls, and they're all just like laying around, but not a single one will go in there. They were like putting the two ends of the battery together, the match, where it's like retracting. They like, no, they don't want to go in.
I foresee this competition coming back in the future.
It was pretty funny.
Be like, the recycled, except it'll be like caterpillars or worms or something.
And Terence was about to drown in the water beads.
Oh, Terence, baby.
Oh, that was pretty great. But when they started, they were all sitting there with their mermaid outfit on or whatever. And Taylor, she looked like that. She was made to wear that. She looked perfect sitting up there. I don't know. I thought it was fun.
I can only fathom the idea of the reason why there's this constant hate train against Taylor in their minds, where they think it's like legit, like it's feasible. She's a horrible person or something. Is because it's hard to believe that somebody that can like look as good in her first swimsuit as she does in a pageant dress, as she does in a fish suit, could possibly be a nice person.
I think you just absolutely think that someone who could do kind of that catty, cutthroat kind of competition like pageants, you would just assume the stereotype that nothing they're telling you is true, right? That everything is fake.
Let's let's go back to Janelle, right? Like Janelle is a great example of somebody who's played the game, who has been in the pageant circuit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she, I mean, don't get me wrong. Janelle is really I think Janelle's a really good friend to those that she friends. Mm-hmm. But she's definitely got a sense of catty competition.
Oh yeah, she has no problem. No problems. No. Yeah.
But again, 3 of these house guests have ever actually watched a season that included her, and she's been in like 50 of them. So
yeah, if you're a watcher, you've seen her at least once. But if you haven't, then you're not.
And then you got Michael, okay, and we got Michael who lives just a mere short drive from where Janelle lives, and McCrae, and like McCrae's been to the panic room that Michael.
Are you trying to say that like he probably showed up at like meet and greets and hung out with them and like?
No, he might have. He
takes pictures and texts them to his friends who are about to podcast. People don't do that.
I wonder if somebody did that. I don't know. I mean, I think that if they had the backing and the support of like some podcasters, like that probably that's the line that crosses them into being able to do the show, right?
Right on. Yeah. CBS, call us. We know somebody. We know. So I thought the veto was good, and Michael won it very easily. I felt, he wanted Taylor to take it, but
he tried too. He was like a legit tried to let.
He's like, I'm gonna let her go first. No, she still missed it. All right, I'll win it, I guess.
Oh, Taylor. Yeah.
So anyway, so pretty unanimous. He did not use the power veto. They did not switch it up, and. Yeah, that's it. So that's pretty much the week. Poochie went home.
Well, we need to go back in time.
Yeah,
because we haven't talked about the controversy of the week. Photo documentation.
Oh yes, okay.
On Twitter.
All right, yes. Okay, so that was the show. That was what the show showed us. But
touching, and then why the second half of the HOH all of a sudden was a challenge where you were sitting down. That seemed very convenient to me.
It did really seem like they wanted her to win, huh?
It did to me too.
Because she is listen, if you
because her DR is so good.
Have someone that is willing to talk as stupid as they possibly can, while reading the dumbest things they possibly can.
Well, she's like my eyebrow sister, though.
Yeah,
her eyebrows and my eyebrows are very similar.
Okay, but wait a minute. I bet you that's just how your eyebrows happen.
It is.
I'm gonna guess hers are constructed that way.
Hers are manufactured that way.
Hers are, yeah. She's doing something there.
You remember
She's
when I
got some
shaved
gel
them off
paste
a couple
down.
seasons ago?
Oh yes.
It came back bigger than ever.
Oh my God, y'all! That was a good one. Oh yeah, was that 2 years ago?
I think so.
Yeah.
Trying to trim my eyebrows, but I shaved them off.
Oops. Well, it was a look.
Donated them to Miss Jasmine of Mississippi, and now she has plenty. And she has groomed them and combed them and shellacked them down, so each hair has its own little individual personality.
She's feathered them.
She's feathered them. Girls on TV, got to distract them from the broken foot. Look up here, boys.
If they look at my eyebrows, they won't understand what's coming out of my mouth.
Eyes up here, guys. Eyes up here. Oh. Yeah.
So it was weird to have to wait so long for tonight to see everything tonight.
So
that was weird because you were spoiled of everything because you were watching the things, right?
It was.
I stayed off the feeds from Thursday. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, good for you. Just stay busy.
Here's the deal. I'm gonna be upfront. I'm gonna be real. I had a lot of things going on in this house, packing for 4 people to go on vacation who have not been on vacation in 2.5 years, while it is 108 degrees outside. So I can't just send the kids packing to get out of my way.
Go sit in the refrigerator.
Yeah. Right? Little distract. Yeah, my son's like, we went to the dollar store and stuck our head in the freezer and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to
we went to Costco and we spent an extra long time in the section where the milk is. Thanks, Costco.
Thanks. So I was a little distracted from the live feeds. I mean, I would check in a little bit here and there on the Twitter feeds. Oh, okay, all right. But lo and behold, magic of insane proportions happened in the last 24 hours.
Oh, because there was
is where I will bring you.
Right? Isn't it because the alcohol was introduced this week? Wasn't that another big thing?
Okay. You know what? No, but I'm going to tell you about the alcohol thing because we got to see what the alcohol was a little bit of a disappointment, but maybe not because
it's like one bottle for the dolls sprayed over. One bottle of wine. You can all have a little communion portion.
Everyone gets communion today. But that's all we can afford.
Individual, so
we've got Wednesday night communion, not Sundays. This is what we have. So they have their one bottle and one beer. So the biggest result from this that really happened was what we got to see with Alyssa following Kyle around all flipping night with that.
Is that for real?
She was doing.
Is that real? Is she liking him?
Yeah, here's the deal. It's real that she's flirting with him and stuff, but it's his little comment to the DR was it was nice. I think he thinks she's cute and all those things. I think he means what he said. But that boy was trying his hardest to not let her make eye contact. Every time she entered the room, he was like, "Hi, friend." Why is he good for her? He better not be so picky because she has something that a lot of people might not have. He told her he was Mormon and she had been Mormon. She didn't know what that was. That is true. That's true.
Right.
She's a queen.
Literally, you never have to talk about it with her because you're not that anymore.
There's that. He never has to feel uncomfortable about that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
She's not judging him.
But here's the thing. On the flip side of that, Alyssa has a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend.
Ah!
Because the Twitter was afire today.
Yeah, you know what? Here's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, he was no, we're done. Yeah.
That's fine. I have a feeling that most people, when they're going to go on the show.
She doesn't even know?
Nah, she probably doesn't care.
That's beautiful.
Seriously. Is she in the house talking about her boyfriend?
Yeah. Yeah, because she's talked about how Pooch reminded her of her boyfriend.
Oh, then she's not missing anything. It's fine. Alyssa's going to be fine.
Yeah, also, okay, so I'm not going to get into like all of the discussions because this isn't the podcast rating that we can do that. But like there was some dirty girl talk about the boys and their thoughts about the boys and a little bit of misdirection because it was like,
so who likes who?
Okay,
who likes who?
Okay, so Alyssa, obviously is
digging. Tell me about the dirty talk. Guys always wonder what y'all talk about.
We have to do Big Brother After Dark now? What is that? What?
Right? No doubt, right? So Alyssa likes Kyle, and then like there was some of the guys had some conversations with Kyle, and some of the girls like, do you like her? Like they're trying to kind of figure out.
The guys are like, dude, don't be stupid. Come on.
Yeah, and Kyle is like, Kyle's big thing is like she's awesome, except for I refuse to get into a showmance. He's like, I want to win this thing.
Okay, it's very too soon for a showmance, that's for sure.
No, legit.
But just wait. Once she writes him some poetry, he's not gonna be able to resist.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that poetry to come out. I mean,
it's gonna happen. But then as soon as
like a snapper, one of those poets who snaps.
Right? Oh, she beatnik, like a beatnik?
Yeah.
Cool.
You need to have like some smooth jazz, like something going on.
Yeah, some moves. Yeah, okay. I don't like to say this because up until this point, I thought Taylor has like all the goods. But she hasn't. I've learned something about Taylor, and she has a really bad guy meter because she's kind of got a thing for Daniel. And let it be known,
Daniel, the weird dude,
the Elvis dude,
the Elvis dude. Now let it be known also that of almost anybody in the house, he has said the most crap against her. Like that, he has nothing good to say about her ever.
Wow.
And even if you start to be friends with her,
is he one of those silly boys? Is he one of those silly boys that just like says a bunch of mean things about the girl he likes
and pulls their ponytail and stuff?
Is it like that?
I don't know, but okay. So here's
is it because he likes her, but he wants people to think that he doesn't, that there's not a showmance? Is it going to be something like that?
I think it was during the HOH. I do not think it was during the veto comp that's already happened because that's how far behind we are thanks to this weird scheduling. I think it was during this HOH comp that they showed us. I believe that's what it was. But I guess Daniel kind of went off the rail at Taylor and said a bunch of stuff. And that was some of Taylor's, like, the faces we got of Taylor being upset because she didn't do well in the comp or whatever. Like, I think some of it was some reactionary.
From that.
Yeah, because we obviously can't see that because the feeds are cut when they do comps.
Right.
So you're having to pick up what conversations are being said and piecing these things together until you get whatever edit
to see what makes sense.
Right. And so I do think we're going to get that, and they'll follow maybe not what Daniel said, obviously, because I think it was really bad. I think it was bad enough that that DR kind of was like, hey, you might be perceived this certain way.
Did she say something mean about Elvis? Did she tell him that Elvis stole rock and roll from the African American community?
Right.
And he was like,
He's like,
they were very clear about that in the Elvis movie, by the way.
Yes,
if you haven't seen
that's what I've heard.
Good. I haven't seen it.
Very clear on that point.
Well, with Baz Luhrmann, he can look at American culture from the outside and actually tell the truth. So
let's be honest, Baz can look at everything from the outside. That's
I've never seen something of his that I didn't like. So
yes.
Tom Hanks?
Baz Luhrmann. Oh. So let's
I don't like everything Tom Hanks does.
Let's fast forward for like half a second and result of that Daniel thing that happened.
Blow up. Yeah.
Yeah. Nicole got called to the diary room at some point in the last 24 hours too. And there was some stuff that happened after that. I'm telling you guys, I know like some of you are like, I don't want any spoilers going into next week's episode. You might just stick around for some of these spoilers because I don't think that CBS is even going to tap on some of this. And this, I think, is going to play major dynamics in how this game goes.
In the social game.
Especially now that we have this besties twist. Which...
Yes.
How do you think they picked their besties? Like, do you think that, I mean, did they use the proper strategy or?
They were all over their place.
No, I mean, it's smart. If you're one of the first ones out, if there's an open table, you go by yourself, hoping that you'll get paired with one of the bigger threats that's going down the line. So that was super smart.
Yes.
But Michael going to sit with Brittany, Brittany thinks that they're number ones. They're the ride or die till the end of time duo. And then he's like, I
think you're less than
and then he has to play dumb, like, oh, I just thought that, we'd work well together and we'd have each other's back. Well, you still will. But if you guys go up, she'll go home.
Yeah.
Is what he's thinking. So that was kind of.
But she may not.
Right.
She may not.
I think that's the fatal flaw in Michael's thinking is that, dude, you've won every comp that you're in. Maybe you need to sit next to a comp beast. Just saying.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to be sitting next to, like, a perceived physical threat. He needs to sit next to Joseph. That would have been Michael's best place to sit.
Yeah.
Because even though Joseph isn't walking around winning, he's like the guy in Survivor. He's the guy in Big Brother that he doesn't have to win anything. He just has to look the way he looks, and everyone's going to be super paranoid that
he's not dumb.
Yeah.
Joseph's not dumb. Yeah. He saw some things, like he's a little bit more savvy.
Yeah,
definitely
he's hanging back a little bit. I don't think he's playing.
That's smart.
Guys, like, at the beginning of this last week, Joseph was 24, but he is 25 now. And by God, the insurance companies have it right, because from the mere 24 hours that he has been 25 years old, he is a changed man, and he has matured, and he is making good choices. Just saying.
And his car insurance rates.
Is that part of our spoiler later? Oh, okay. All right. That's fantastic. Something dirty with Joseph. Awesome. Maybe. Allegedly. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting competition. I liked it. I thought it was funny with the lighter and some sort of weird musical chairs. It was good.
Yeah, I like it was something different. I liked that it kind of set to the theme with a festival. I mean, like, I guess we can call that like a summer beach house thing, right? These themes. But
I thought it was a cute challenge, and I like the idea of them being together. But they're hip to it right away, saying this is only going to last for a couple weeks, and they're right. Well,
it has to. And one of the big dangers. Okay, this is my prediction. My prediction is that it will end as soon as it's jury time. Like, if it hasn't ended yet, like, jury, now you're playing on your own. But it kind of sets up the idea that, and they're starting to kind of turn the ideas in their head where they're realizing, like, because of this twist, they have to kind of make a big alliance. Like, the house-ruled alliance is going to kind of have to happen. But here's something to throw out at you guys. Does this twist look familiar in any sort of capacity? Because Big Brother ripped this off from...
Oh, yeah. From Survivor.
From Tiffany. This
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yes. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The whole idea is we are alliance, and then we will all have our one person.
One person.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So...
I don't know that was
the right people, but if it's like they made it's wish.com's version.
Correct. Yeah. No, they made us, they created a situation where they could help create that through this, because of this comp, right? Yeah.
But I'm sorry, this is not the right team. You cannot take you can't take two super fans and then half of your players be recruits and then expect that they're going to put that together and be like, this is what they want from us.
Well, some of them kind of seem to understand it. We're going to split our alliance of 4. We're going to each take a different table to that was smart.
It is smart for their
alliance they're in.
Yes.
And that was super interesting.
Girls in the Poe alliance, they seem to vacillate between the two.
It's very odd, right? You have people who are in 2 alliances, but how everyone views their main alliance is different.
Yep. Yeah.
It's really good.
Because you have 2 people from the same side alliance, and one's like, this is my solid alliance, and the other, this other one's my solid alliance.
This one is,
Yeah, there's a lot of alliance swapping. And I feel like it's sort of something we see a lot at the beginning half of this game because there's just so many people. There's
what's
so
going to really
people.
pan out. Exactly.
And
so
as
much
they get
talking.
to know, as they get to know each other and they have like their little disagreements or friendships, it's really fluid for a while, you know?
Yeah.
And again, that's another reason why the cookout just stood out from so many others, because there's very few alliances in this show that like start at the beginning.
Concrete.
If you go back and look, I said the cookout was going to implode.
Yeah.
And it did not.
Yeah, because that's what
they
Big Brother's shown us.
Each other that well.
Yeah.
Well, and like the brigade, all of those, whenever there's like, yep, this is a final 5, this is a final 4, like you're like, yeah, okay, that's what they all say.
Yeah. Sure. Right. I will say I was happy to hear Turner say that he wanted to be paired with someone so that he could get in good with the girls, because he hadn't really worked the girls yet. And I thought, that's smart, because I could see the girls, if the girls needed to reach out to some of the guys to help them solidify their alliance, I would go him, and I would definitely go Michael, because we know Michael's not in the boys' alliance. He's got to go with the girls. And if you could get Turner over there, Turner might be okay for a little while.
And Turner's been, I like how they kind of gave Turner like a moment tonight with the states. By the way, I can do all 50 states in alphabetical order, but probably not quite that fast.
Not that fast. My daughter goes, he's just mumbling.
Yeah, he's just been.
All I heard was Ohio. It was like Ohio.
Okay, guys, I'm just gonna lay this out for anybody who like meets somebody and they're like, "I bet you I can do this," and you're like, "No, you can't. That's really hard and impossible." They can do it. You want to know why? Because there was a song that a lot of us learned in 4th grade. That is that song, and was also featured on Animaniacs. So
yeah, my kids know that song. They can do it pretty fast, but not that fast.
It's not Mensa level, guys.
No. It's just practice, but that just goes to show it's a party trick, right? He's him and his friends sitting around.
I just like imagine we gotta oh man, Turner won HOH. What are we gonna show? We don't have any footage of him doing anything. Like, what do we, let's
airdrop some carpet making materials and let it make a carpet. Can you really make any carpet we want?
Yeah. Oh, yes. that little feather. But also, you know what? So he gets his letter from, his HOH letter from home, and he obviously really misses his girlfriend and his mom and his family.
Who's got a cricket? Wait. Who's got a cricket?
That isn't a cricket. That is a bird who is fighting with her.
Oh, that's your bird. Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
She tends to get a little bit riled up this time of night because for whatever reason, her swing starts to apparently start talking smack, and there's usually a fight.
She fights the swing.
It's a bird thing.
I do have a demand that I need to make. So CBS, I know you're listening.
Yes,
this is my demand. I want a montage of every time Indy has to eat slop. Every time. Because she was such a little whiny.
Oh, that was not great. And the way that she talked to
Terence?
him and said like let me I just have to be mad. Just let me be mad so I can get over it. It was like maybe check yourself a little bit. That's not hello.
That was it.
You know what immediately I smelled Scorpio. I smelled Scorpio all over it. That moment.
Right? That's so funny.
And even Alyssa's like, girl, don't put a target on us. Cut it out.
Yeah, we all hate it. None of us are happy, but seriously, just zip.
But that is okay. Like again, she's talked about there's some cultural differences that might bite her in the butt, and I think like I'm not saying that it is necessarily. I haven't been there. I don't know. I haven't been to Brazil, but did we not go through this exact same thing on Survivor with what's her name? Something Marie.
Gina Marie or no.
Yeah, what was her
Abby Marie. Abby Marie.
Oh my God.
And it was like as soon as she would get upset about something, what'd she say? Like, no, I'm just really mad. I don't need anybody to talk to me about it. I just need some time to be upset.
Right.
It was very much the same thing, which goes against like we are all kind of fix-it people, right? Like, oh, you're like really upset. Like, what should I do so that I feel more comfortable being around your upsetness?
It's Abby Marie.
Abby
Marie, thank you. I knew it was something. There's this stereotype of the like hot-blooded Latino that gets like they're fiery, they got a little spicy, and I will say that's probably not obviously the case, but she has really got that stereotype, which is why I said Scorpio, but maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe she's maybe she's Taurus. I don't know.
I gotta be honest with you. Not that I necessarily digging on her like anger about it, because at some point everybody has to be a have-not.
Sure, but why get mad when you know they picked you because you're the only duo that hasn't been on Slap yet?
Yeah,
everyone else had already been on there trying to be fair and pass it around to them, so nobody's ganged up on.
But
it is a little silly.
But look at how many things and this is why the have-not thing exists, because it pushes people into cranky town and people start talking. So look at this.
And it's like, so what if they're on Slap this week and have-nots this week? Odds are they won't be next week. The odds are they might not be again the whole game.
And the
like you don't know.
Mattress is not the worst sleeping arrangement I've ever seen for the have-nots.
No.
Oh my God.
And you just suck it up.
You know.
And honestly, get it.
My sleeping arrangement at my sister's house.
Right.
I can flip the mattress. Dave's here.
The same sort. You know.
I just feel like get it out of the way early in the game when you're not as stressed too, right?
I think to anybody else who is watching the game, Michael, crossing my fingers that you got to be privy to some of this. Because anybody who's watching this tells you so much stuff about her that she might not ever reveal. You know? She is a creature of comfort. Like, not just creature of comfort. Like, if you even threaten to take the most minuscule amount of comfort away from her, she loses her cool.
Yeah.
She can't
that goes to show you that any endurance challenge she's going to drop.
Exactly. Now, let's switch it over to Terence. What does it tell you about Terence if you're watching this situation? Terence didn't go in there and say, like, oh, I'm really sorry. Yeah, this sucks. I'm sorry. Let me know if there's anything you need, and then leave it and walk out. He kind of wanted to fix it, but then his way of fixing was it's not that big of a deal. Right? Like, it's not that
because he had just gotten done with it. So he was going to be like, hey.
Yeah.
And he said he had some tricks. He was going to help her out. He was going to tell her like, hey, try this or try this. This is what we figured out after a whole week of being uncomfortable. Right. We did this. It was much better sleep. Try that.
So what does it tell you about Terence? Inside, no matter what he's trying to portray on the outside, on the inside, what he wants to do is fix problems for other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that you can just, if you're watching, you're like, okay, I know how to manipulate you. I know how to manipulate you. You know, that's why we have this thing. And then you see Alyssa, who's playing it right, who's like, this sucks, but no one's going to see me care at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not showing my cards. You know, I'm not a big fan.
Plug your nose and eat it.
She is definitely playing a better game.
She's right that being a have-not lowered the chance that they get selected to go on the block too.
Especially people.
Yes, because they're like, oh, we don't want to be mean to him again. That's sad.
Guys, there's been like real conversation. They're like, we can't put Jasmine up because her foot's hurt. Oh yeah, we can't. Like, we can't put her up. Can we just make a deal not to put her up until her foot is better?
Right.
That's the group of people we're working with.
I bet you that'll work. You know what
I'm saying? Because I think if I were to look at anybody in this cast and go, okay, who is...
Because they want her to be able to have a fighting chance to save herself, right? Is that what it is?
I mean, maybe.
But honestly, give her a sit-down challenge anyway.
Well, but they didn't for the veto. The veto, she said it was crawling back and forth. But guys, I feel like she could have done that with a bad foot because she would have been bound up in that tail. Do you know what I mean? So her foot wouldn't have been flapping around. I would have gone for it.
Okay, but I'm going to be honest with you. Whatever the competition was that we did not see yet this week had something to do with the harness, and they didn't even get her up in the harness, and she was like, I'm going to faint. And they took her down. So
spoiler.
This is just how she is. She is going to be here to the end. Mark my words. Whoever it is that votes her out is the person who's got the biggest cojones in the whole lot of the cast, because that girl's going to be sitting number 2 at the end. She's the GOAT. That's what my prediction is.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad prediction at this point. Honestly, that's pretty good. I can't find fault with that.
Think about this. Would Christmas have made it to the end of her season if she did not have that busted foot? No, because she was a threat and a half.
She was a threat, but she probably wouldn't have been super out early, but I think she could have kept herself in there. I think she could have fought for a little bit.
She could have stayed in there longer because she's a physical threat. But she would have been there longer because she earned her place there, not because people left her there because they felt bad about her foot. You know what I mean?
I feel like sending her home now would be like the easy way to, like, she can't even compete.
Yeah.
How come nobody ever looks at it like that?
If at this point, if she was fighting,
I don't want to get stuck with her as a partner.
If you had to pick somebody out of the girls' alliance, right? Like out of this girls' alliance, she's not the obvious first target. She's just not.
No.
But
no,
again,
she'll go far. You're right.
That's just it. I mean, like that foot gave her a ticket to stay a lot longer than her personality.
Unless she quits, which, you know.
They just need like to do on this cast.
So well done, CBS. We're gonna have a lot of that twang in the DR.
Hey, is it cool if I just go at the end of the week? I'll just like sit in that seat. But like I need to have a for sure end date. So I will be your pawn. I need it in writing.
Oh man. Okay, so have we pretty much covered up everything from the actual week? I just want to make
sure that I haven't missed anything with the one thing. We talked about Julie's outfit, guys. We got to talk about that. Like that.
I totally don't even remember what it was.
I don't even. Isn't that crazy? It has to be really bad for me to pay attention.
Well, okay. Let me see if this brings back any memories. Because in my notes it says, "Cupcake liner meets terracotta pot."
Oh.
Do you remember the shirt? And it was very much like a cupcake liner matched with a terracotta pot around her waist. It was very strange. And I mean, again, we're hard pressed to ever beat the crochet thing that we witnessed last year. But
oh, that was a masterpiece.
Yeah, that was tough.
She saw that on some grandma's couch or something, and she was like,
"This is mine. I've got to have this."
This is yeah. I was looking to see if there was a picture up from tonight of her outfit, but I'm not getting.
Okay, well, this is what's going to happen. When you go to your DVR and you just kind of look, what was she talking about? You're going to be like, ha ha, that is totally cupcake liner versus terracotta pot.
Was it terracotta color?
Yes. And it really is. Like, I could draw those two things together and it would match her dress perfectly. This is what it was like. It was bizarre.
Okay.
Again, these weird shapes I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not like a fashion guru though. So
wait, what if she? Does she have someone who's close to her that like has a fashion line that just really sucks? But like they're like, Julie, we're gonna dress you, and she's like, okay, dress me. I'll wear your stuff on TV.
I've said
it's probably one of the ladies from church.
Yeah, right. It is. It's one of the ladies in her prayer group. It's fine.
No, it's the women's group. The women's group at church, they get together. They like to sew. They like to crochet. Yeah. They like to knit. They get together and
the whole week like planning out like, okay, well, you go ahead and you do the seamstress on that right here. But I really think that this fabric is going to bring out her
Minnesota
eyes.
Too.
Yeah, I was going to say, does she commute all the way to Minnesota to go to church?
I'm sorry, but people in the Hollywood don't have Afghan blankets just laying around. That's a Midwest, like, hold strong, you know? Hot dish, Afghan blankets on the couch. Midwest. I know where I am. I'm in the Midwest.
Ooh, a nice quilt here or there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I did the whole voting out the diver room thing brings up an old rant. You know, everybody knows, right?
Who did it?
An entire
Who
season
did it?
Of Australian Survivor. Not a single contestant said a hi to some person we're never going to meet or care about. Every single one, hi, people I don't know. Why did they allow it? It's
happy birthday, Mom. I'm not related to. Guys, it's an important week, though. We need to talk back, right?
But there was only one. There was one person who did that thing I hate, which is the Julie, you're the most beautiful woman ever to go. Okay, but who did it first?
was both girls, 2 girls.
Indy did it, and Alyssa was the other, wasn't it? And now they're teamed together, so they're team schmooze. Anyway,
and what's funny is Julie has to compliment them back too. You look lovely too.
I know, don't you?
That's why we cast you.
Yeah, that's why you're the host, because everyone else will be like,
But I like that. I like that better than the saying hi to people we don't know. It just seems
because I can understand not seeing your family and wanting to give a shout out. Like, tell your significant other you love them because you miss them and you're thinking about them, or tell your kids hi.
I'm going to tell you how that's done right. It's done right by the way that Michael did it, because he said he was voting out. He kissed his freaking ring and walked out the door. That was his hello.
That was nice.
He
That's
didn't
nice.
have to do a shout out.
Well, because the cats don't know what he's saying.
I don't know if you guys are basketball fans, but Hornacek from the Utah Jazz played with Stockton and Malone. He would do this every time he shot a free throw.
Yeah, it's like the
and that was "I love you" to his family.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And they all knew it, but he never explained it.
And the Mary Tyler Moore thing, or Carol Burnett. Sorry.
Okay, so here's one other.
So I would much rather them. I would much rather them say hello to their friends than BS her and kiss her butt. That's just my opinion.
At least that's a game move.
Is it though? She's not voting for them.
And by the way, they do that on Australia too. They kiss up to Sonia pretty good.
And it's like, come on, they're doing their job.
But in fairness, Sonia does look beautiful.
It seems a little sexual harassment. I'm sorry, in the workplace.
This week, though, I'm gonna throw this out there. This is in my segment. If I was on Big Brother, this particular week is the week that I would do a shout out. But that shout out would be to happy birthday to Rockstar's daughter.
That'd be awesome.
Because it's Rockstar's daughter's birthday, and you have to announce it on Big Brother. It's the thing.
But you don't have a calendar in there. How would you remember all the days?
Because you will know that you just know. It's one of those things you just know, because it's very important in Big Brother to know Rockstar's daughter's birthday.
If I have more than 2 days off from work, I can't remember what day it is. If I was in the Big Brother house, I'd be like, "What day is it? Are we still here? What's going on?"
I mean, it feels like 200 days from our position. Right. So to them, it probably really is like the 14th year they've been doing this. Yeah. Okay. So
right, because it's like dog years, right?
Yeah, and they are like all kind of under the illusion. They're like, how could you not have, like, what do you think people think of, us? And they're like, man, they know that we're hard hitting. We're like playing this game and blah, blah.
We're the best cast ever.
We're the toughest girls that have ever been on this show. Like, oh my God, watch an episode. Just watch an episode. If casting calls you and says, hey, we got an idea, great. I want every single episode of Big Brother, and I'm going to start watching them.
Is my winner pick perhaps coming off a little anti-man?
No, she's not.
No, she's fine. Is it just a bad edit?
Snippety tonight, though. Dang, yeah, she was throwing down some like finger points and some real serious faces. There's like some stills on the internet of her like.
She's really
Wow, she was really letting him have it, like with her feels, man. This is how I feel about it. It's like she'd be an awesome.
And she also made the comment that she is the most physical of the women, so she's owning that title. We don't know that to be necessarily true yet.
Good muscly arms. I mean,
she does. She
looks like the strongest person.
But she's a little older too. But we'll see. She's a little older than the other girls.
We'll see. I mean, she's had a few competitions and she didn't win them.
No, she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
That's very old. That really is very old.
It is pretty old.
So any of you out there that are over 40, you should just give it up. You're going home pretty soon.
The best is over. Give it up.
I will lend you an Afghan. We got you. We'll take care of you. We got you. Here's the deal, guys. I think we've covered everything this week.
Yeah, I think so too. Are we ready for spoilers?
I just kind of want to jump in the last 24 hours of happenings. Just
okay. All right. So if anybody, we're going to start talking spoilers now. So if nobody wants to know, you've been warned. All right.
And hopefully we'll see you next Thursday. Per schedule.
Yes. Well, no, this coming. It's like in like 4 days we'll be on again.
Time travel is weird, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If the check man's on, we know she wants to hear the spoilers. So.
All right. Okay.
Because she's the one who started me on Joker's update, like 5 or 7 years ago.
So that means that if there's anything that I am missing out on, that she can fill the gaps. Because if she has checked any of those out, she will know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Okay. So there's multiple things that are happening in this house in the last 24 hours. It's a strange occurrence happens, but it's really, really kind of funny too to watch it all go down. So the first thing that's not so funny is banking off of what we were talking about with Daniel's, like, whatever it was that he said to Taylor during that whichever comp it was.
Do you not know, or you just not want to share?
I don't know what it is. No one has said what it was.
But he got all angry about her and said something to her, and now she's angry too. Okay.
Well, yeah, he said some pretty, it had to have been pretty bad for it to have been like talked about without really saying what it was, because I think they were kind of.
I mean, do you think it had like racial undertones or no? Because
I'm not sure.
They would have pulled him if he did that.
Yeah, I'm not for certain, but I just know that Daniel, for whatever reason, has had serious. Christy, okay, what is it? What was the science experiment at the college, right? Where like they did the guards in the prison.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, like how quickly people fall into this.
Yeah, they split them up, and these people, you're going to be prisoners, you're going to be guards. Yeah. Go, and, like, but
they are all equals in real life, but they're just like locked into this.
They immediately, their brain makes them start acting and taking on those personas.
Yes, and it's like this is how the house has been. The majority of the house has been towards Taylor since that first day. And right now, Daniel's kind of picked up the pace where we have Paloma gone, but now like Daniel's kind of like, I don't know what his issue is. I don't know what his issue is.
Is he bitter that kind of derailed his HOH week?
Maybe, but
he didn't.
You know, like that's the thing. There's certain things that make you mad, right? Like if that was you in that situation, you'd be like, I'm so blankety blank because. Like that totally screwed my plan. Like that totally.
He had to put up. Right. He had to put up 2 people, and nobody went home. But he made those enemies.
But listen, somehow this is where Daniel is, and unfortunately, because Daniel's bestie in the house is Nicole, this is kind of where their head sort of is. That somehow they've convinced themselves that Paloma's mental illness was Taylor's fault.
Oh, like she somehow pressed the buttons enough to like set her off?
Yeah, that she was such a bad person. And what she was doing was so bad that that's what caused her to be this way. And they've pinned that same thing on anybody who's acting irrational. Suddenly it's Taylor's fault. Like it is. Okay, so like Taylor isn't seen on the feeds for 2 hours anywhere near Daniel. And like in that 2 hours, Daniel could say 3 or 4 times, like, oh my God, she is always following me. She is always following me. Like, and
is he that paranoid of her? Like they have just made her into like some sort of mastermind.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's like they just have all had some sort of mental break where they all believed some BS that was being said in the first week and will not see through that filter at all.
And because because Paloma left the game, they can't even question her about it now.
No, and there has been very few post interviews with Paloma, but what there was, she doesn't own anything and still lives in this head that we didn't see everything, so we don't know because they cannot understand what feeds means.
Did you not see the tweet where she claimed they're friends?
Yes, that's what I mean. Like we're really good friends now, and like that's something they keep saying.
Now Taylor's in the house.
Yeah,
She can't talk to you right now. You're not friends.
Strange. So, and something that they keep repeating is like, well, you're not a bad person. Like Nicole's like, you're not a bad person, Daniel. Like anybody could watch these feeds and see that like they know what she's doing. It's like, what are you seeing that the rest of the world is not seeing? It's insane. So that's happening. But at some point, after all this happens, Nicole gets called into the diary room. And whenever, like, and she was like really stressing this call into the diary room. And I remember she has a sick mom at home, right? So it's like, I get it. I get why she'd be stressed. So she goes into the diary room. She's like, she's upset about whatever. She's there for a while. And then when she comes out of the diary room, she goes to Daniel. Like nobody else sees her. Like everyone's waiting on the couch for her to come. Like everyone's, you know what I mean? Like everyone's kind of waiting to find out
for her to come out, make sure it wasn't bad news or something. Yeah.
So she goes to Daniel before she talks to anybody else. And she's like in the room talking to him. And she's like, you know, no, like we just kind of went over this and that. Like mom's fine. It's not about mom. And he's like, well, they're all kind of, you know, they're kind of worried that like it was your mom or whatever. And she's like, I'm so glad when I came out, I didn't see Taylor here. Blah, 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 blah. Taylor, just bad. Now, and this is where it's like, I hope that they show this. And this is why I think the only reason why I think they might show it is because the whole time she is in that room, just dogging. The two of them are just dogging on Taylor. The cameras are in the living room, like, or in the other room with Taylor. And Taylor's like, Monty, can you like, she calls Monty over and she's like, I'm not very religious, but like, I would really appreciate it if you would help me. Like, I want to pray for Nicole. I'm so worried about her and her mom. And like, so the whole time they're in there talking about a horrible person she is.
She's out there trying to figure out
praying for her and her mother. Like, and this is literally what this house is like every day with their idea of who Taylor is and then the reality of who Taylor is. Like, this is how bad it is.
But you would think like Terence would see through that because he seems like a pretty level guy.
Dude, Terence is like, bless him.
He's not playing. He's not playing the game.
he can be the goat.
He's on vacation. Come on, he drives the bus.
Yeah. He's just the old dude eating snacks. I hate to say it. I wanted him to be like, oh, I'm in a game, you know? Nah.
And maybe he will,
don't
but
you think he could be the goat? He could be somebody they drag along.
He could be, but I could also be like, we got to get rid of the old guy in our style.
Well, that's what usually happens.
You know, so yeah, I don't know. So that's going on. So ew, gross. We don't like that. That's really another one of those like yucky things I don't want to watch. But I want to just put this out there. Okay, rapping aside, because you know I don't condone rapping your like HOH or not your HOH, but your like save me speeches because that makes me uncomfortable. Right. Rapping aside, dude, 23's Brittany. She's just a solid piece of gold because she's on there every day, like talking about the love Taylor's going to get when she gets out of there. The girl has no idea how much support she has out of the house. What a horrible feeling it is to be on the block every week and think that everyone hates you. And in this
every week, it's just 2 weeks. Come on. You know,
she's been very sweet. Like she's been very, very sweet about everything. So
I think it's because of first week that all of that happened with Paloma.
In that swimsuit and they couldn't handle it. Like,
I think that so Paloma leaves because whatever, and in their head, they are so, like you said, so convinced because I think they don't want to be.
They don't want to have any
made to look like they're dumb.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to be. They're like, oh my God, we see her, and now we can't let it go because we can't be wrong. If we let it go, everyone's going to think we're stupid that we saw it and we didn't take the shot or whatever.
Yeah. Like it's like,
but they didn't see it. They only saw what Paloma wanted them to see.
Yeah, they backed, you know, they backed the wrong horse. And when she like had to leave because she couldn't handle it, they didn't take a step back and realize like, oh, that's where I made the wrong choice. Okay, moving forward.
They're thinking she couldn't handle the pressure because Taylor was so mean to her. But really it was homegirl just needed a rest.
Yeah. And I think that she stirred up a bigger bit of drama than what her brain could have forced. I just don't think that part of her brain was mature enough to foresee the long-term effects of what she was doing.
How that was going to happen. And then she just pieced out.
And then she was like, y'all, I'm out. I got like a nice house and stuff. Like, I'm out of here. So, okay.
And like I said, they can't talk to her. So all they can do is say, well, this is what she said to us. They can't re-ask her now.
No. Right. Exactly. So
they're so scared that Taylor's going to get one over on them.
Well, this is where the tide turns, and all of the feed watchers at like 4 a.m. were like standing up in applause. Okay, so late last night, like really, really late last night, discussions were being had between some of the guys. You know, there was a little bit of talk here, a little bit of talk there, some Kyle, some Joseph conversations, some Turner conversations, and these guys starting to realize that like this guy-girl thing, that's not going to be good. And then I'm all starting to realize that they were kind of like on the lower end of the totem of each of their own like little alliances. And then now started coming clean about their other alliances.
Kyle and who?
So we have Kyle, Joseph, and Turner. It starts out with these guys, okay?
Okay.
And
they're all like, oh, we're the bottom of our group. Okay.
Yeah. Like, well, they just kind of like, they didn't literally say I'm the bottom, but like when you look at the pecking order as a viewer, you can kind of see where they fall in it. Like,
yeah.
And so there was some conversations where they were kind of seeing like, maybe this alliance isn't my best place. And then they're like, oh, well, did you know that there was this alliance? Oh, well, this person said that they were in this alliance, but like they were in alliance with you. Yeah, they were in alliance. They are all ratting everyone else out. It was awesome. and then Michael gets involved. And Brittany gets involved. And now we have all of these guys talking about everything. And then they realize that there's one missing person to this perfect alliance that's starting to happen. And they go, it's Taylor. We need to get Taylor. Yeah. They have wronged Taylor. They have pissed on her. They have treated her like crap. And we're done. We're done with this. And we're breaking free from this. And she's going to be one of us. And so they spent as much time as possible trying to get Taylor to come upstairs without like pointing out.
Right, like, without Taylor, please come upstairs.
And it was so funny because they're all like sitting there watching this, you know, they're watching her every moves and they're like, oh, if you want to come upstairs, like they're just dropping these little hints throughout, you know. So they're watching on the camera, you know, that they have up in the HOH room. And they're like, oh, she's like walking to the stairs. Okay, maybe she's coming up. Oh, she walked away from the stairs. Like, oh. And eventually she finally does like come up. Like she goes and sits down next to like Alyssa or Amira. And they're all like, oh man, no, you got to come up here. So finally she like goes the stairs and they're all cheering. They're so excited. And then she walks in and they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, so
we've been waiting literally.
We've been waiting. You did it. You did. And she's like, what did I do? And they're like, you made it today.
We were taking bets. Anyway.
So they all sit down and they start talking about stuff. And like Monty's kind of talking. And you can kind of see like she's kind of looking at Monty. Like she doesn't really trust Monty. She shouldn't.
Oh, wait. Now Monty's in there too?
Now Monty's in there too. So now Monty is
okay. So again, Joseph,
we've got
Turner, Monty, Joseph, Michael,
Britt, Taylor, 7 of them. Yeah.
Wait, I'm missing somebody.
Brittany.
No, got her.
Monty, Turner,
got it.
Joseph, Kyle, Michael, Brittany, and Taylor.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just didn't count right. Sorry.
I just didn't hold my other finger up. Okay.
Okay.
So
all right.
So there's like all these like little, okay, like this, and then this has happened. And then Joseph's like, yeah, man. Okay. And then Joseph, 25-year-old Joseph, by the way, goes like,
happy birthday, Joseph.
Yeah. Like you've had to, you know, like, okay, like you have been put through the ringer and like, you've been having to do all this crap and you've been having to put up with a lot of crap. Like, why do we get to be the judge with how much you can handle? Like, oh man. Listen to this kid, right? Like, so they're all like talking, and then she's like quiet for a little bit, and they're all kind of like, oh shit, like, did we, you know? And she's like, I'm in, I'm all in. And so they're like, yeah, and they all get up and start hugging, and they're all like super excited because they've created this new alliance. But it was so great because when they were talking. So when they were all talking about the alliance and stuff, they were like, oh, you know, because we're like the outcasts of our alliance. We're just like the leftovers of all these groups. And they were like, oh, the leftovers. So the name of the alliance is the leftovers.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. So it was very, very exciting. And I don't know how long this is going to last. So it was very difficult when I was taking my notes tonight, like at the end of the episode when Turner was putting people up on the block. Because I'm like, okay, wait. Was this before or after? And like, what is the damn timeline? I can't figure it out. So
okay. So he put up
Brittany
Michael,
Michael. Yeah.
Brittany and Michael. But they're both in his alliance.
We're both in this alliance.
This new alliance. So if that was it, they're all gonna play Veto and pull one of them off and put somebody else up?
Pull them both off.
Yeah, because
he does pull both off? Okay.
And then they put up another bestie.
Yes. Ooh, so who will they put up then?
I don't know, but like some of the they've been kind of like just having the conversation of who's a bigger threat.
That'd be a good one, right? Because either way,
she made a target of herself over something so simple, but that's a possibility.
Well, no, you don't send Indy home; you send Alyssa home.
Well, and honestly, yeah.
Well, Kyle might want her to go home, so he's not trying to blow up her game with the showmans. Like, stop.
Yep, exactly.
She was flirting with them. They showed her flirting with someone else too, besides Kyle. It was like right away she was on to someone else flirting with them. There's another guy in that beginning montage, like right after that, somebody else. And I was like, geez, Alyssa, because my daughter said, wow, she's playing the game. Guy, you gotta guess.
If I was young and in the house, that totally would have worked on me. I gotta be honest.
Yeah. A pretty girl smiles and jokes with you.
But I would tell you this. If it was me and I was getting ready to go on Big Brother and I had a significant other, then I would be making sure that when I got there, people knew, and that would not be part of my gameplay. But if you dating someone, but maybe, it was fun. Maybe that's the idea she had. She's like, yeah, I have a boyfriend, but
yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not serious. It's casual.
Yeah, maybe it was more serious for him than it was for her. So he gets to break up with her on Twitter, but maybe she kind of broke up with him when she
and pretty much drag her through the mud without her returning fire for a couple.
Whatever. Of Get over it. She was going on. Brother, she's a beautiful girl. Do you not think she's gonna?
I mean, people care in the fact that it's like it's drama to view, but I don't think anyone thought like she's a bad person.
Yeah, like come on.
A lot of that. Like I've just seen a lot of people that are like, ooh, like tell us more. What else do you have to say about? Right. But
wow, that's good.
If this alliance holds up, I think that there's a really good chance that Taylor can like find her way back into a much better situation.
Yeah. At least to get like mid-game at the very least, right?
But there's also the scenario that rolls. Go ahead.
They should pull Terence in as a useful idiot for the 8th vote, then they control the house.
Yeah, but I think if they pull Terence in as the useful idiot, it has to be one person in the alliance that pulls him in and never lets him know.
Yes. Who's he closest with, though?
Because as it stands right now, they have one person that is a little bit iffy in the group, and that's Brittany. Because Brittany's talked to Michael and was all like, I just feel like really bad. I'm just bailing on the girls, and he was like, they're gonna bail on you.
Yeah, the first chance they get,
do whatever you want to do, but I'm telling you, they have no loyalty to you. You are just a number.
Could Nicole maybe pull Terence in? Nicole might be able to and say like, "Hey, we're the two oldest people here. Let's work together."
Nicole's not in.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah,
I
was trying to think who could pull in.
I feel like something that is a really strong likelihood of happening is that. I mean, I don't know, but this is my guesstimation, is that if we get Michael and Brittany off of the block, I kind of have a sneaking suspicion he's going to replace it with Nicole and Taylor with Nicole the target. I feel like that's because I think that they recognize that out of the girls right now, Nicole is
she's a force.
Amira's a pretty big force too.
I agree.
She is, but they don't see her there yet.
I think the guys are more afraid of Nicole than Amira.
Yeah.
Because she looks
they don't. The only person
exactly.
Joseph is a little bit onto it, but I don't think he's like onto Amira. Like he kind of like chuckles because he'll have a conversation with somebody and then like walk away, and like 5 minutes later, she'll come over to him and be like, oh, this person said this. Like she's so freaking fast on the like relaying a conversation she heard. Where you know what I mean? Where he's like, that's
but
like a
little
bit
in the butt
sketchy.
Too.
Right, because she's not very she's not as sneaky about it as she thinks she's being. But thus far, she's sneaky enough.
But she's beautiful. Maybe he'll overlook it.
Yeah. Now, they do have some conversations about how they are wanting to maybe have like a path of communication. And I think if they can stick to that, I think that's going to be the thing that really allows them to move forward, where it's like, this person talks to this person, then this person talks to this person, and this person talks to this person. And we don't
telephone tree. They have a telephone tree.
We don't break that up.
That makes it real easy to turn on each other too, though.
It does. However, it makes it so that, like with the cookout, they don't ever have to be in the same room
together all the time
to be on board. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't know how much of we're going to get with the whole Nicole and Daniel thing, but I thought it was important to kind of touch base on the social game, why Nicole's getting pushed out.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of buddies with some of these people, but Daniel's he's a real Memphis, you know?
Is Daniel the guy who's...
I almost picked him over Michael. I'm glad I picked him. No, that was Turner.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Turner. His amazing, his amazing thrift shop. So let me see if I have this screenshot. I think this is a great place to end if I do have it, because it's the funniest thing I've read on the internet all week, and I think you guys would love it, so I saved it.
Okay.
All right, but I have to see if I can find it. But if I can't, I'll have to paraphrase. So somebody like was going in and leaving reviews on Turner's
I saw this
store. Yeah, you did see it? You got to see it? Okay. So here's a review of Turner's thrift store that was left today.
Okay.
All right. While the owner is not yet 25, like his friend Joseph, and it took a while to see any development in his business, we now have what appears to be an overnight success story. After losing his dog Pooch to the pound, the owner partnered with several people to use these rugs to help their friend Taylor not get evicted from her house after she was framed. They gathered the leftover rugs to weave together a tapestry that we are starting to love. Later this summer, the owner will also be hosting free fajitas for those who vote for his friend Taylor to win her AFP case against those who tried to frame her. She is an excellent 25-year-old attorney. We wish her luck. One warning, there is an Elvis impersonator and an ex-cop that loiter outside of the shop, which may be the cause of bad reviews.
Ooh.
I love the internet.
That's beautiful.
That's pretty funny.
And that's all I got for now. We'll just have to see how.
No, I keep thinking over those 7, and I just feel like they have a really good mix of physical and social, and like if they have Michael, and he obviously has watched the game before.
If that holds, we may yet have a good season of Big Brother.
Yeah.
Well, it might be the thing. It might be the thing. And it sucks because on one hand, I'm like, this is a move that saved the game and made it more entertaining. But then I also know how many times in the last how many years we've had to say, this is why we don't get to have nice things.
Yeah. Okay, so on Wednesday night's show, we'll know if this is going anywhere, if they really play into it in the edit, right?
Yes, because I think it's happened with enough time that knowing this going ahead, you'll kind of be able to see what storyline they're trying to weave together. So, yeah.
And then are we going live Thursday night? Is that the plan?
That's the plan. If I am back from my vacation, I will gladly join you. I may not have been able to watch every little thing via the live feed, but I will do my best to stay up to date with Twitter. And if not, I'll be here the following week, and I'll just send you guys a message with my thoughts. But hopefully I'll be back.
If it's going to be Christy, it's going to be a half an hour of us going, what's that guy's name again?
With our senior moments going like, wait,
You just get a screenshot of all of them.
The guy, the guy.
The guy who did that thing and said that stuff.
That'll be fun. All right, well, guys, barring any changes to CBS's schedule this week,
they just do what they want these
Thursday night, and we can go at the quarter hour, or we can go at the half hour. We'll decide. We'll figure it out. But usually right after the show's over, you can start grabbing your drinks and your snacks and get ready to settle down with us. So anyway, Jamie, you have a fantastic vacation. Drive safe.
Hey, I'm just the passenger, but I'll say drive safe every half an hour to my husband and remind
him. Okay,
ride
safe. Ride safe. Yeah, make sure he has both hands on the. How hot was it in Florida today?
It was hot.
How hot is hot?
93.
Whatever.
Okay, hold on, Jamie. You have to understand that 93 in South Florida is not like 93 here. 93 in South Florida is like 110 here. Yeah, it's really bad. The humidity is so bad.
I know that the humidity,
especially in the summer.
You can't even breathe.
Here's the deal. The humidity in Missouri gets bad enough that the trees sag. I mean, it is like 83% humidity and normal, right? Yeah. But I know in Florida, it's still a bit worse.
It was so hot here, the alligators were sweating.
Yeah, it's bad. And we've had it really hot here this week. I'm very excited because now I'm seeing all the. Tomorrow's going to be set.
I need to know what we peaked at.
Today, for us here in Omaha, it was 87 degrees, as was our high.
Are you kidding me? It was 106.
It was 103 yesterday. So we're on a cool front. So we got 87 tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be 70 and rainy. And then we're going to like another week of 80s. And I can handle that.
Well, we had the place that we're vacationing at was 115 degrees 4 days ago, and the Airbnb owner messaged me, and he was all like, "Hey, heads up! Like the air conditioning's still working, but there's a drip in the water pan," and I'm all like, "Is it still working? He's like, "Yeah, it's staying 72." I'm like, "It's good. We'll keep it. As long as we're not dying in there, it's fine." But 115 guys, 115. Welcome to the desert.
Oof.
Oof. But it's the Texas desert, so it's the humid desert. It's not even the
it's not even.
We're just three people talking about the weather. Let's wrap it up.
Because we're old. You're right. All right, guys. Sorry about that. See you next week.
Over 40, just run away. This is what happens.
That's right. We get an Afghan. You get to talk about the weather. Have a great week.
All there is to it. Just run.
See ya.
Take care. Keep the fan handy. We'll see you next week. Or we'll see you Thursday. Bye.